get too big. Known for his short fuse, for any acting none of use. Put another feather plumb in his cap. King of Kilbone fame, never once pulled a plane. Till the day he left the old NASA sap. The one and only Big Mike Fink pushed the river to the brink, charging up and down the Ohio. Did you know, did you think Heart and Bow would never sing? Oldies and braggarts come and go. 1815 called you west, but the Rockies were your place. Faithful Amy always by your side. Lifetime of expedition, to hell with your tradition. Why'd you have to take one more ride? Barroom bluster trades for plow, could've used a scrap of doubt. When that drunken stupor made your rifle slow. Mug of beer topped Amy's head, aimed too low and now she's dead. So Talbot dropped the curtain on your show.
All right. How's it going, brother?
There he is. The man, the myth, the legend. How you doing, Daniel?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, look at you. Dressed in some great sweater there, man. Looking cool like a devil.
Oh, yeah. Well, you look good in your black t-shirt.
Thank you, brother. Are you in Nashville?
I'm a little bit outside of Nashville in my cabin.
In your cabin. That's cool. So, yeah, man, you got it right. So you're close enough that you can be in the action, but you can have your peace. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Yeah, it really is that way. I'm 28, but I feel, I don't feel that way in a lot of ways. And when I get home, I need to, I don't like to really go out and get all distorted, you know. I like to calm down and come home from tour and, you know, just center myself, really. And I love it, man. It's great. You're in Nashville, right?
I am, but see, I'm not playing it right like you. I'm like in the middle of the gulch. I am in the middle of the madness.
Oh, that's good. That might be right for you, though. You know?
Yeah, but there's days, Daniel, that, you know, I just want to set my hair on fire, you know, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't do that. I love your hair. It's great.
Thanks, brother. But yeah, man, celebrating the new album, Reflector. It's great. And as well as the upcoming show, you know, Daniel Donato's Cosmic Country Christmas at the Brooklyn Bowl on December 16th, man.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's a high-frequency holiday celebration that is inclusive to any approaches to life, you know, to anybody and everybody.
You know what's crazy, Daniel? That show, in a short amount of time, it's becoming like a Nashville tradition, you know?
Yeah, it really is. It's really a cool thing to see happen. It really is.
Why do you think that is? Because this town is full of traditions, like, I don't know, Amy Grant at the Ryman for 20 years. And in a short amount of time, you've established one of the hottest holiday tickets. Why do you think that is?
I don't know if it's me so much, man. I really don't know. I think I'm the organizing principal at it all, on an organizational level. But I don't know. The wonders of community, it seem to be a really enduring and eternally true magic. And so, you know, I think it's the community in the frequencies within it that kind of helps set it up for success.
Yeah, I think so. And a couple friends of ours will be there, Sarah Hall, Grace Bowers. I mean, but people who are in Nashville, man, I mean, they should really get a ticket before it sells out. It's just, man, you're like a magic maker, so.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, every time we connect, I always feel that magic is alive and well.
Absolutely, Dan. But Dan, when you're on stage, and I meant to ask you this, I see you play stuff like Better Deal Blues or Sugar Shack or whatever, and you're always playing like with your eyes closed sometimes. It's like something overtakes your body. Is that by design, Dan? Or like, do you know the guitar so deeply at this point that you don't even need to open your eyes anymore?
Oh, well, yeah, I definitely don't need to open my eyes. That's a real one. You know, I've been playing every day for, you know, at least 3-4 hours a day, pretty much, since I was around 12 years old. You know, so like on a technical level, holding a guitar, very comfortable. I'm not guessing a lot. But when I close my eyes, I'm trying to keep myself open to ideas and what the present moment can have, so I can kind of enter into that playful kingdom like a child will. And I think that's part of what's going on there. Again, the unconscious is a very strange thing, my friend.
It is.
So I think that's kind of, I'm just trying to set myself open to that source and to serve it with a lot of grace and ambition. And, but not every night's good. There's some bad.
Well, it's a musician bad night, which what I mean is, only you and Will and the gang kind of like talk about it later, but people have no idea that there was a bad note here or there.
That's right. Yeah, no one ever really knows, which is flabbergasting. But
God. But Daniel, you mentioned something interesting, and that's that ambition. And when did you first start coming to Lower Broadway? How old were you? You were like, 18, right?
14.
14.
I started busking on the street there.
Busking on the street. How have you kept that ambition, that hunger, Dan? And I mean that wholeheartedly, because right now, you've made Cosmic Country almost like a trademark. Your shows are like renowned. Basically, you don't need to prove yourself the same way as you did before, but like by definition. How have you kept that ambition?
Well, there's always been a part of me where I haven't been proving anything to anybody except myself. I think that's a soul driver. Being internally driven has a far greater time horizon than being externally driven. And I think that's probably part of any way of organizing your life and improvising with whatever it is you want to do and create with your time here. And there's all kinds of euphemisms that kind of denote what I'm saying in a less expensive way, like ignore the noise. Is what a lot of people say. That kind of is leading back into this same stream of what I'm talking about here. I've always just been a weirdo, and so I've never really fit in, into any box really well. And so, even from a young age, I kind of knew that I was going to have to stick to my guns and refine what it is that I'm doing. And, I remember being 16 when I really knew that. And I really knew it, man. And I still do. And, and I've just always done what I've loved, even in the, I've had a lot of winters, man, where I couldn't, pay my rent and, bills get turned off and, things went rough and, but I've always had faith in what it is that I'm doing. So I have to think that all of that kind of is an amalgam of what's going on here.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's great. There's people who go their entire lives and they never get that. And you got it too young.
Yeah, I had a weird trip when I was a young kid,
Why is that? Like, you mean you just like were like experimenting?
I just had a weird go at it. Like I was 14. I played on stage for the first time, and I instantly knew that this is what I was going to do.
Right.
My whole life. And when I was 12, I remember the first time I was able to fully make a G chord really vibrate and audiate well. I just remember knowing that I'm going to do this forever, regardless of what happens. And that's not normal. I feel estranged when I talk to a lot of people that are around my age sometimes, because they're getting out of college and they still don't know what it is that they want to do. And with that said, there is a beauty to both trips there, because I've always had a macro vision of what I was going to do with my life, and I saw my name in lights when I was 14, and I just knew it. That's what I wanted to do. But there's a lot that you don't know when you say when you do know.
Right.
And so that's kind of the beauty of it, is you're improvising, because you never really know what it is, like on a micro level, day-to-day basis, what it is, but I've always known, I knew it, and there was nothing else I could ever do. And I was going to work harder than anybody. And I was going to make, anybody who wanted to try to get on my level, I was going to make them reconsider their choice of trying to do so.
Yeah.
I was very competitive with it. And when I was a young kid. And, I just always worked at it like a dog, man. I just have that personality set to when I wake up and I think about it. And when I go to sleep at night, I play music that helps encourage activity of my unconscious to think about it.
Hell yeah.
I am, I'm 100% in on it. I've never been 1% out, and I won't, it's the main source from which everything of my life organizes itself around. It's my religious vehicle. It's my work vehicle. It's my creative vehicle. It is where I get a lot of my identity from. And so everything I ever get in life, I just give it right back to music as much as I can.
Yeah. Oh, beautifully said. You remind me when Eddie Van Halen died. We had, people talking, reminiscing that knew him and played with him. And, that's how obsessed he was with the guitar.
Yeah.
But Dan, and like I've been blessed to see you perform many times in different states, and your show has that magic that not many has. It really is a beautiful communal thing. It's something that you cannot practice. It is spiritual. It's like you tap into like that ethereal thing. And that's, I think, what makes your shows and your experience so unique. It's so powerful.
It's really kind of you to say, I remember we were hanging out at Blue Ox in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, the past 2 years. I remember, talking to a bunch of people, and I feel that you have a great bandwidth for that kind of reception as well, so I guess it takes one to know one.
Thank you. Yeah, for sure, Dan. And speaking, we're talking about all these great things, but like your band plays such a key role. And I love the brotherhood that you have with Nathan, with Will, with both Wills, Clark and McGee, and the whole gang. When you guys, you guys spend countless hours together. But when you guys think about bands like, U2 or Radiohead that have always stayed together, the originals, is that something that you guys kind of like discuss? Is that something that goes through your brain? Like, man, we have this perfect kind of like chemical reaction. Let's really fight to keep it untouched.
Yeah, there is a fight to keep it untouched, and there's a dance to keep it untouched, and there's a management to keep it untouched, and there's a communication flow to keep it untouched, and there's all kinds of ways to keep it pure, right? And, I think there's certain people that you meet in your life where you meet them within space and time, but on some different level, you feel like you've always known them, right? And it's kind of a heavier occurrence than, just asking the person at the grocery store how their day's going.
Right.
And, and albeit all those are valid brotherly golden rule transactions. But, I just remember, again, when I was 14, I really didn't play with anybody my age. I was kind of mentored and brought up on stage with a bunch of really great high-level country and Western music musicians, and they had played with all the legends. And so I knew right away how to identify and listen for somebody who is speaking with their soul. And I can identify that with Will McGee and Will Clark and Nathan Sugarleg, instantly. You can just hear it. It's not really part of the note, but it's part of the overtone of the notes. There's an overtone there that just sounds different and feels different. And makes people feel differently, even if they don't know that they're feeling it, kind of a thing. Right. And, that's just what I've done my whole life is played with really great musicians, and in contrast, played with musicians that are love music, but they don't have that kind of world-class talent on it, and that's totally cool. But I could hear it with my band, and when it came time to really start bringing Cosmic Country into fruition on the road, I needed to have a band that was my age. Yeah, I can't really tour with a bunch of people that are 50 plus years old in a van. They're not going to want to do that and eat pilot gas station hot dogs every day. So I put out the inquiry metaphysically to find out those people, unconsciously it might have even been, and I met them all as time unfolded in a harmonious way, and I'm just so grateful. And the biggest thing I can say is, as I think teams, when you see teams do what they do, the sum is greater than the parts. And that's a universal law. It's readily observable in a lot of realms just on Earth alone. And so, with teamwork and brotherhood, or whoever makes up the team, there's a specialty there that happens when everybody gets together and focuses their mind, soul, and body on something. that's far greater than any individual could do on their own.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, very well said, Dan. Well, Dan, you got a busy day, and I want to let you go. But let me ask you about the new album real quick, because seriously, Reflector, man, unbelievable. I was listening to it all weekend, all Thanksgiving weekend in research, man. And I think what strikes me the most about it is you really you took some sonic risks here that handsomely paid off. But it is a new level for you, huh?
Thank you. Yeah, I feel it is a new level. Yeah, I do. I'm so attached to me, though, I can't really tell if it is,
Yeah. Yeah, you've been too close to the stems and the computers, but yeah, man, it's you clearly kind of took a risk and you evolved sonically, and it's a beautiful listen.
Yeah, well, I've always walked with faith, even unconsciously, and I think there's inherent risk in measured risk that's involved with living your life in a certain way like that, and if it's not it's not alive if it's not new, because we're constantly changing, and that's part of what risk is to change. So my goal is to always just keep the music alive, living, because truth is a living thing, and I want my music to always be truthful. And so that's where that comes from, I think, on some level. And our producer Vance Powell really, really helped make it sonically just world class. Especially if we have listeners of this podcast, if they listen on Apple Music at all, you'll find that the whole record is mixed on Dolby Atmos, which is
Nice.
this new technology. I don't know. Are you hip to it? Do you know about it?
Yeah, absolutely.
There it is. Yeah. So that's part of what Cosmic Country is Cosmic Country can exist in the past through its roots, but it also is a vessel to take people from the present into the future with new technologies and new ways of doing things. And that was one of the offerings we were able to bring for Reflector as well.
Beautiful. Well, Dano, you've said it all for today, man. Just invite people before it sells out to the Cosmic Country holiday here at the Brooklyn Bowl, December 16th. And man, I shall see you there, and I shall also see you next year at Rooster Walk. And I don't know where else my calendar will cross our paths, but thank you so much for your time, brother.
I can't wait to give you one of those real hugs.
Absolutely, my brother.
That's great. Thank you.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one.